All right. So today, diagnosing bipolar can help people lead healthy and active lives. Research on bipolar disorder can also help improve understanding of the condition and potentially lead to better treatments and predictions of which treatments will work best for individuals, right? Each person's different, but what we learn is brutal honesty and connect with someone who understands even extremes. You can begin to see the world's different, um, have a greater understanding of people, plus learning to acknowledge also limitations. You can appreciate too, a meaningful adventure. Look at all the opportunities to do better. We have the most famous people in the world who just, do that. An open book of their walk to stardom, and even an open diary to the pitfalls. Um, Celebrities like my personal hero, even Mariah Carey, who has greatly influenced me, but millions and millions of others too. Also, Britney Spears and Carrie Fisher, known for her role as Princess Leia in Star Wars, the movie franchise. Carrie Fisher got diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 24. She wrote her 1987 novel, Postcards from the Edge, in rehab after a near fatal drug overdose, even. On stage and interviews, Carrie Fisher called for more attention and research on the condition. She died of a heart attack in 2016, whereas Mariah Carey, being still the chart topping singer, was diagnosed in 2001, but she told People magazine, quote, she lived in denial and isolation for years. She said she finally sought treatment after a few series of professional and romantic issues. It's about putting positive people around you and get back to doing what you love, like writing or making music like she does. Or how about actor Mel Gibson, even, who burst out onto the scene as an action hero, then branched out into producing and directing. He was even named sexiest man alive in 1985. His personal life made headlines when he berated a police officer during a drunken driving arrest in 2006, and pleaded no contest to domestic charges in 2012. Bipolar can be an important factor in toxic um, relationships. It can lead to suicide, job loss, ability to function, and family discord. However, proper treatment can lead to better functioning and improve even the quality of one's life. A person who has bipolar also experiences changes in their energy, their thinking, their behaviors, even their sleep. Got a bee that's buzzing me. During bipolar episodes, it is difficult to carry out day to day tasks, go to work or school, and maintain relationships. It is a common disorder, but it can be so severe to manage that it can make, daily tasks feel impossible. But with the right care, it can be successfully managed and treated too. We all experience, shifts in our moods at times. However, some people feel changes in mood differently. For people with bipolar, experiencing heightened emotions and depressive states are often so intense that they interfere with everyday life. During manic episodes, people feel as if they are on a high, have an extreme amount of energy, even. In depressive episodes, people experience feelings of sadness, indifference. In addition to changing moods, bipolar causes shifts in focus and active activity levels. People with untreated BPD or BD can struggle with, carrying on daily tasks. Approximately 10 million people in the US have bipolar. It impacts men and women equally. Bipolar can impact sleep, self esteem, appetite, and concentration. People with bipolar can also have physical health issues such as migraines, high blood pressure, and heart attacks. During a depressive uh, space, they might ignore or distance themselves from others as a form of self protection, or because social interactive people feel too overwhelming. Bipolar and borderline personality disorder are frequently um, misdiagnosed as one another due to some overlapping symptoms. These disorders differ in their symptoms, causes, and treatments. Misdiagnosis of bipolar and vice versa, the BPD, can affect a person's recovery. When your loved one is feeling depressed, or isolated, they may push you away. They may even avoid all contact or communication with you. You may have heard of this as like bipolar ghosting. When this happens, it does not mean that they are cutting you off. Looking back, at what happened usually during a mood episode, it can stir up powerful emotions. It's common to feel embarrassed, humiliated, intimidated, or ashamed, even worthless. There's often regret, sharpened by fear that you've alienated people in your life. This might manifest as a, glazed over, empty look in their eyes. This phenomenon is also associated with either depersonalization or derealization, where individuals feel detached basically from themselves or their surroundings. Potential bipolar rage triggers might include things like work pressure, relationship conflicts, or financial worries. Sleep disturbances, lack of sleep, or irregular sleep patterns can significantly impact mood regulation, potentially leading to heightened anger or irritability. Now, let's look briefly and talk about two case individuals who showed multiple, huge, even warning signs and symptoms of untreated mental health that leaked into and took it, further than just either a personality disorder or mood disorder. Case number one, Jodi Arias was convicted of first degree murder for the 2008 killing of her ex boyfriend, Travis Alexander, in his Mesa, Arizona home. The case, which took place after he had the nerve to break up with her, so to speak, took place in the early 2010s, and it captivated the nation, even sparked widespread public debate, excuse me. Jodi Arias, though, claimed she killed Travis Alexander in self-defense after he abused her and charged her with a camera. She testified for 19 days, detailing their sex life and playing an X-rated phone call. However, evidence found in Travis Alexander's washing machine, including photos of sexual activity between the two, the day of the murder, lead prosecutors, led them, to charge Arias basically with first degree premeditated murder, even after a lengthy trial. All 12 jurors, and unanimously, convicted Jodi Arias. And in 2020, the Arizona Court of Appeals upheld her conviction and, life sentence without parole of the brutal murder of her ex-boyfriend. So, the case, though, marked by a mix of romance, betrayal, and violence, not only dominated media headlines, but also, sparked widespread public debate and intrigue. Now, case number 2, Alexei Treviso. On January 27th, 2023, the 19-year-old gave birth to a child in an Artesia hospital bathroom and threw it away. The baby died, and Alexia faces a first-degree murder charge. The New Mexico teenager accused of murdering her newborn just moments after giving birth took a first-time prescription weight loss pill, as well as, probably obviously first pregnancy, and shortly before delivering was even given morphine in her IV. That was probably her first time too. These experiences and overwhelming emotions all flooding together, and, a short diagnosis or treatment not, previous for mental health, and even cultural context we're bringing in here too. I'm seeing a lot of discourse around the mother's behavior and how she treats Alexi during the police cam footage. I've seen threads asking, why didn't Alexi tell her mom she was pregnant? Or how did her mom not know? And while coming from a strict Catholic family, I wanted to put this in perspective for those who may not understand. Side note, some people are going to come out and say, well, in this or that, my family would still not act this way. Well, congratulations. I'm in no way am I absolving or justifying Alexi's behavior, nor am I claiming to know her motives. As of right now, her position stands, that she gave birth to a stillborn baby and panicked. I plan on answering some of those frequently asked questions in the context of what I know. Alexi comes from a religious household. Now, why is that important? Why didn't she abort? With, um, you know, the codifying of Roe v. Wade and criminalization of abortion, one could see why it may have been hard for Alexi to consider that as an option. In addition, though, it is said that her family attends a hyper-religious church, therefore making the thought of having an abortion a taboo subject. I'm assuming that sex, before marriage, was frowned down upon based on her religion. I would also assume that sex education was not part of something she learned in school or at home, based on the way her mother treats her. I think Alexi is afraid to disappoint her mother or go against her wishes, thus her motive to hide the pregnancy, from her. Another question would be, how did the mother not know? I, myself, and my sister, and then my mom's sister, my aunt, who is the same age as me, we all had our first pregnancies, and we hid them into the later trimesters, and we did it with baggy pants and shirts, even hoodies too. I don't know if it's a religious or cultural thing. It's not race, because my black best friends were doing it too. all of us barely showed signs of pregnancy even a few weeks before giving birth. I do think Alexi's ability to hide her pregnancy from her mother was aided by the fact that she didn't look like a traditional pregnant woman. Yes, one can maybe do a double take and assume to be seeing, more photos of her. I could see how she would play it, off as even weight gain. I saw even the pictures of her cheerleading uniform and her belly. Her mom being super religious, though, and being reassured by Alexi that she was a virgin. I do believe her mom deluded herself even into thinking, not my child, and believed, what Alexi said. To believe the opposite would mean being an outcast to her church, having a pregnant high school daughter and overall bringing shame into their household. Also, in Latin or Catholic households, an unexpected pre wed pregnancy is shameful due to religion. A lot of religions, it's a paradox of sorts. Um, there is extreme shame, for teen pregnancy and premarital sex. Yet we have such high statistics for early unwed pregnancy. Again, it comes down to lack of sex education with the pressure, of chastity from religions, that frowns down upon, birth control. It is said Alexia was on birth control, but as to whether she was taking it regularly, is another story. Why is her mom, talking to Alexia like that? Was another question I saw. Based on that body cam footage, I can see that Alexia's mom probably focused on the negative and has a need to control the situation. Hence, why she probably reassured medical staff along with Alexi that she wasn't even pregnant and that she was still a virgin to control the narrative and the situation. The mother is more concerned, though, with anger and punishment for, Alexi's lack of truth rather than dealing with the reality. Her daughter, at the moment, also points, to why Alexi wasn't honest in the first place. She was more afraid of her mom's reaction than even the death of her child. Another one was, why didn't Alexi tell anyone she was pregnant? I think she was scared. She was afraid of being an outcast, afraid of her mother's disapproval, afraid of losing her social standing in school, etc. Does this justify, what she did? No, but it explains one possibility, for why I think she didn't know what to do and was probably hoping that the problem, would just go away, right? I think she was hoping that she ignored the situation long enough that the problem would get solved on its own, even. She didn't think it through, and if she did, she never made an attempt for an alternative. Last question would be, did she kill the baby on purpose? See, now that I can't answer. Only the courts will decide. I personally believe that her motives were not to kill the child. I do think she wanted to get rid of it, and she realized she needed, to go to the hospital even due to the pain. I think she told her mom it was back pain as an excuse to get medical help. I don't think she was honest with medical staff due to her mother being right there. I do believe that she believes that her baby was not breathing. I think she panicked and again was so afraid of her mother finding out that she preferred to dispose of the child in the trash can. It doesn't make sense for this to be premeditated. However, the hospital would be the last place you would get away with disposing of a body, especially with how she left the restroom. I truly think she panicked. If she had been given, or excuse me, had given birth on, let's say, the table, as opposed to the restroom, the outcome would have been vastly different. Only time will inform us, how the case progresses. An interest, though, in seeing other people's take, I am, but like I said, coming from a family where pregnancies were concealed, it comes down to family expectations, whether black or white, any race, really, or religion, corporal punishment being the norm, and not having, open channels of communication, even with our parents, and even dating outside the religion or the race. And marrying, still seems to bring controversy, which is crazy because we are talking about a skin color or the way we pray, how that somehow is going to change reality in any given time, let alone our feelings. Now, that right there is batshit crazy. It's no wonder how half of society right now is on medication and the other half need to be. At a time when it was looked down upon to date outside your religion or your race, my mom and dad's parents forbid them from seeing each other. They ran away together, and that is when she got pregnant. Till this day, abortion isn't even legal in the Philippines. Alexi has more resources than half the country and majority of the world, even. That still makes abortion illegal. As of right now, being the New Mexico is one of the states that still has and allows abortions. My mom didn't hide me or throw me away in the trash. And there are psychos, extremists, whatever you want to call it, in every race or culture that there is, too, right? All right, guys, that's all for today. Hope this helps. Bye.